Hello, my name's Paul. Lots of people who watch my videos tell me they like my voice and they think I should do audiobooks. Well, today I'm really pleased to announce my new range of Hacking with Swift audiobooks, starting with this one right here. Bedtime stories for Swift developers, available in all good bookstores today. I'm going to read you the first of 4 stories from the book, called Jack and the Bug. Jack sighed. He'd been trying to solve an animation problem all morning, but it just wouldn't go away. Every time he tried to fix it, things just seemed to get worse. He tried using property animators. They didn't work. He tried using keyframe animations. They didn't work. His last idea was to use GCD, so Jack gave that a try. And an hour later, Jack had 2 problems. Jack decided to take a break from work to clear his head. He could see Peter, the tech lead, and Susan, the engineering director, chatting near the coffee machine. As Jack walked closer, he just heard the end of their conversation. And so in conclusion, Peter said, "That's how you win at Texas Hold'em poker." Susan nodded and smiled. "That's very clever, Peter," she replied. "Have you considered starting a podcast?" Jack tried to creep past them to make some coffee, but Peter saw him. "How's that bug going, Jack?" asked Peter. Jack thought it was best to come clean. "Actually, I'm finding it really hard," he said. "I already told you," said Susan. "We had to ship this thing in a week, so you have to find a way to make it work." "And I told you," added Peter, "that we should just paste in that code I found on Stack Overflow. It will totally solve it." Jack had tried the Stack Overflow code, but it hadn't even vaguely worked. "How about," Jack ventured, "you let me write some tests to find the problem, then make incremental improvements until all our tests pass?" Susan laughed. Peter laughed too. "Oh, Jack," said Susan, "you are funny." Peter looked at his watch. "Well," he said, "I left my code compiling an hour ago, so it won't be done for another hour. How about we go to your desk now and solve it together?" Before Jack could say otherwise, both Peter and Susan started walking towards his desk. "I can see your problem already," said Peter when he got there. "You need to add some force unwraps here, here, and here." Jack frowned as he watched Peter waving vaguely at the screen. "I don't think that's going to," started Jack, but Peter interrupted him. "Look," said Peter, edging towards the keyboard. "If you replace all this code here with a monad, then delete your storyboard and write everything programmatically, and use MVVM just like I told you to, then all these problems would just go away." "Actually," said Susan, "I think that true on line 5 should be false." Peter squinted at the screen. Jack smiled and said, "I think you might be right." "You know," said Peter, "I think my own code might have finished compiling." He took a step back from the computer. "Also, I have a meeting. Now, somewhere else. So I'd better..." He trailed off as he started walking away. Jack changed the code from true to false, then tried it again. The animation glided gracefully across the screen. It worked. "Thanks, Susan," said Jack. "No problem," said Susan, smiling. Then she pulled out her phone and said, "Hey Siri, remind me to demote Peter." "Okay," said Siri, "I'll remind you to buy a heater." The end. And that's just the first story in the book. If you buy the full edition, you'll get that story plus 3 more. Jack gets his app rejected for using private API, Jack meets Joe Groff's dogs, and Jack throws Peter out of the window. Who's my good boy, aren't you? Yes, you are my good lad. Yes, you are. You're a little stunt cat, aren't you? You are. You're a good boy.